This is the Poker Face Society. I am your host, Jamel Saladin. This is going to be an amazing show. Let me tell you that right now. I had to move the show back like 3 times today. Because of the universe kept giving me like new information. I still got the pen in my hand. I just started laughing. I said, this is going to be an amazing show. I love when I get excited about the show I'm about to do. We're going to talk about word magic today. I got into an argument. With ChatGPT and made it bow down. I made the artificial intelligence take a bow. I'm gonna show you the proof. I got the receipts. Glad to see Splashing in the house. We got Millie in the house. I know Trisha said she was here ready to go. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and start our show off with, I think it's the brother's name is Star Shim. I called Sarnetta and I said I need him on my show. Called Sarnetta this morning. But I want to start my show off with him. Okay, let's go.
We use profanity for a lack of better word. Yeah. If we continue in that vibration, it makes us lazy. Yeah. That's an excuse. Yeah. We don't want to give each other no more excuses. Yeah. We are going to be God, and that's all we're going to be. We are going to be wise, we're going to be beautiful, and we're going to be strong. We're going to be the best thing that they ever could see. We're not going to say we God and we out here hiding all the north. We're not going to say we God and we drunk with our pants down on the floor. We're not going to say we God and we calling our woman bitch 100 miles an hour all day, every day. We're not
hold up, Star Kim. 2 L's up to Barlow in the house, man. 2 L's up. Shout out to Brooklyn, man. Listen, they telling me his name is Star Kim. They know of him. I had to call the brother Sarnetta this morning. Yo, who is this brother, man? I need him on my show. I'm feeling his vibe. But bigger than that, I stopped this right now because I never met this brother. I never heard this brother talk before a few days ago. And it was just amazing to me that the same things I've been saying, he is saying. You understand? But are we going to listen to the video? I just needed to start there as he was talking to the young brother, right? Let him keep
bitch 100 miles an hour all day, every day. We're not going to say we God and we want to kill each other, rob each other, scheme on each other. So I want to correct your language. Now,
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Now, the reason I reference...
All right. Now, I just had to start there, right? Let's go back to the beginning of the video. Let me see what that sounded. Yeah, let's go back to the beginning of the video, right?
Young G's on your motivate. What can you tell them brothers and keep it going?
Only thing I can tell you, young brothers, is understand your power. See, we know who wrote the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran. It was our ancestors. We don't believe in no spooks, and we don't deal with religion. We made that for others. But I want to specifically point out this. When the scriptures of the Bible says in the...
Now, here's the thing I like about Star Kim. I like how he simplifies things, right? He doesn't overly explain things, and then you're not going to understand what he's talking about. So it's kind of like he gives it to everybody at everybody's level at one time, which is an amazing thing to do. He said what he said. We don't believe in no mystery gods. We don't have no religion. We created that for others, and then he kept on moving. And I'm fascinated because I never met him. I never seen him before a couple of days ago on YouTube. Nothing. Yet I have the same. I'm thinking on the same frequency. So I'm very excited right now. Right.
The beginning was the word. I want y'all to always understand that words are mathematical equations. Witches and warlocks call them spells. They taught every one of y'all to spell when you were in elementary. So understand
But did you hear what he said? Like I say that. How many times I say that on my show? Right. In the beginning was the word.
equations.
Hold on.
When the scriptures of the Bible says in the beginning was the word, I want y'all to always understand that words are mathematical equations. Witches and warlocks call them spells. They taught every one of y'all to spell when you were in elementary. So understand spells is like a word programming coming from word. What you say is what will manifest into the.
Stop right there, man. Kim is kicking the knowledge right there. I'm telling you, this is going to be an amazing show. If you're just showing up right now, you might want to stick around. It's only Saturday, man. It's only Saturday. Chill out with your boy. We're going to deep dive into we're going to go get into commerce law. We're going to get into international law, maritime law, admiralty law a little bit. We're going to touch on it because I got to break this up. I cannot do this in one show. I'm telling you that right now. So I'm going to take my time, which means I'm not going to finish this topic today. Yeah, it's a rainy day, Splash. You ain't got nothing else to do. You might as well just keep it on Poker Face Society. And I just found out a lot of people haven't been able to find me because I changed the branding. And that's okay, because I'm not going back and they will find me. Our tribe will find us. You understand? Let's get into this because this is why the people came.
Reality. You speak death, death will find you. You speak life, life will find you. You speak health, health will find you. You speak wealth, wealth will find you.
Stop right there, man. Shout out everybody that believe I got kicked out of some type of whip. Right? People still say that to today. Yo, that's why you got kicked out the whip on 50 movement. And I don't feel the need to keep having a conversation with them. That me and China had a conversation and I expressed, I don't, this ain't the right place for me. So as I see the numbers going up, I had to make a decision based off my purpose. You understand? You're responsible for what you know. So I had to make a decision based off that. Now, me coming over here and starting this brand, what do I always pour into you on every show? I always speak more money into your life, right? I don't want to disrupt your aura. There's words that I could say that will just paralyze your whole aura. I don't want to do it. Why would I want to do that? So I speak love because that love going to hit different. I speak money into your life. That money going to hit different. I speak freedom, liberty, passion, joy, happiness, health. I make sure purposely, consciously, I'm saying these words on my show. It is not by accident. It's not just because I'm trying to pretend. I know what I'm doing. I know purposely I'm sending that frequency to you on purpose. Let's keep going.
You speak disdain, disdain will be your comfort. So remember your words. Your words are reality. made manifest. So whatever you say when you're making your beautiful poetry, don't do.
Stop right there. Remember when I was telling everybody, yo, you a poet. Remember when Solid was running around calling all the rappers poets? You thought I was trying to offend you? Nah, I was trying to alert you and wake you up and shake you up to the reality that you're living in. You know, they got you thinking you some type of rapper and the rappers got to do this, that. Yo, you a poet, bro. You a poet. You putting words together. You sending out these spells, right? So you think because someone is not acceptive to whatever words that someone puts over a fancy beat that's really hot, oh, they not like that. This is grimy New York. Yeah, you don't even know what you're getting yourself into. I laugh, but it's not funny, bro. You repeating spells because you don't understand energy. Rightfully so. You don't understand the ether and how the ether vibrates at a different frequency. And this is why you see something different. This is why you see a tree different from a rock, because the vibration of that energy. Also, you have not trained yourself to have enough patience to tolerate things that don't produce dopamine in your head. So if you're not feeling the dopamine, you automatically, yo, I'm turning right away. This is boring. You know why you do that? Because you don't have knowledge yourself. Because if you did have knowledge yourself, you would automatically know, yo, that's going to be my natural instinct, right? But my real true desire is to go to another level. And the only way I'm going to go to another level is by understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
Do it just to speak because you got a hole in your face called a mouth. Remember that these words come from a dark matter. And darkness cannot be examined. That's why it's hated. We possess the ability to manifest dark matter in our pineal gland. That is responsible for all living matter. All organisms possess carbon. They call it melanin, but we understand it as carbon. That's why old fossils are carbon dated. Okay? Your words are older than the sun, moon, stars.
Start right there. I always tell you guys, people don't like the words I use, right? When I say that the religions plagiarize, a lot of these religions, they don't plagiarize the words. So we could use other words, right? We could use borrow. It really don't matter, because at the end of the day, the words have power, whether in the Quran, whether in the Bible, whether in the Torah, whatever, right? If you're going to find wisdoms in them, if you're going to, you could, it don't matter. Somebody could come out with a new religion today. They're going to use the same words, bro. But what I'm telling you is none of that was original. There was a body of work before Christianity, before Islam, before Judaism, before Zoroaster, all of that. There was a body of work that had been building up, is what I'm telling you. So when we get to the part where it says, in the beginning was the word, that's why he just said what he said. I'm going to bring it back. He talking right now. I can tell you that.
Than the sun, moon, star. Your words are older than the sun, moon, stars, planets, and anything you see here. So your words come from a hidden place in your thoughts
Mm.
that can't be examined.
Mm.
So when you speak words, understand.
See, I would love to just let him run over all of this, but we got to stop and break down what he's saying right now. Because if you are conscious from your thoughts, this is why I turn some things off right away, bro. When I indulge in any type of low frequency stuff, it's consciously because I need to know what's going on. You understand? So I will force myself to listen and force myself through it. I want to hear what they putting out here. Why? Because they weaponizing it. So I need to know what the weapons are. I'm not one of those that, oh, I don't want to hear that all the time. No, play that. Let me hear that. Who was I listening to the other day? It was me and Bimmy, and he turned it off. Right? I heard it, but it's not my car. Bimmy turned it off and he turned on he turned it off and he turned on Public Enemy, right? And I think it was Young Thug. It was one of them Atlanta boys. He said was it one of the Atlanta boys? I'm gonna tell you what he said. He said, I don't sell weed, I sell dope, right? But over the beat as he's saying it, it's jiving. You know what I'm saying? Because they got the cadence. These boys don't work out a beautiful cadence over them beats too, man. Shout out to them. Especially them Atlanta boys. Woo, that boy Young Thug. I don't think nobody riding the beat like him, bro. Young Thug know how to ride a beat crazy. I'm going swimming with these little bitty shrimp hips. Yo, he get busy, right? But everything, mostly what he's saying is poison. And when you understand this, you be like, damn, they're using us. Caveman's in the house. We here, man. Share the live, man. We about to get busy. We about to get busy. I'm about to show you how Chat GPT is out here lying. I done asked it about the gold trim around the flag. I discovered that the United States had two flags. It had a flag for military purposes, authority. Then it had a whole nother flag for civil, for the civilians during peacetime. Then found some things out playing with the AI, and the AI did not want to answer me. When it got to the point where I cornered him, where it was going to be a checkmate, he dropped the knight and said, "Yo, as an AI, I cannot." I said, "Oh," I just start laughing. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all the receipts. Now, the AI usually says that when emotion is involved, but this question had no emotion involved. So when he bowed out like that and said, as an AI, I just started laughing and said, wow, you don't want to answer the question because you know once you answer the question truthfully, it's a wrap. I said, wow, we don't need that type of AI. Let's finish the hearing the brother Star Kim talk for a second.
Understand the relationship that your words have with the reality. Every rapper you know that spoke death, did death not come and visit them? That's right. This is by no mystical chance. This is by the relationship of your thoughts and your words and the universe that responds to it. The universe must respond to you. If you're tired of being broke, you wake up and you use your words and say, I speak wealth at this very moment. And the universe must bend to your will.
All right. So let me give you the other half of that. Because some of y'all might question what he's saying, like that ain't true. It's in your Bible. You see how they came out a few years ago? About to say 20, 10 years ago, something like that. The Secret, right? The book The Secret was a big thing. The Secret. It sold millions of books. All it did was take universal law that had been here for this had been here for a while. And it took one of the universal laws, which was the law of attraction, and they commercialized it, right? But see, here's the thing about what he just said. It is true. But faith and works is also a part of that. So you just saying something is one thing, right? Now I need you to say it with the true faith that this will happen. And if you truly believe that this will happen after you said it, then now you must act on that. Now you must act on it. And I'm telling you, you're going to start to see some things unravel. Let's go. I think the young brother's about to ask a question.
Your question, brother.
X. He's got with X. What's your question?
Yeah. So now, when I spit, right? Because I'm going to come clean. When I hear conscious music, although I love my brothers and sisters and I want to support them, the conscious stuff is dirt to me. I'm going to come clean. Like, it's just dirt. I don't be wanting to hear it. So now, I more so made a consolidation between the consciousness and the hood shit that people want to hear. So now, when I did that, people are plugged in because they like, oh, that's the gun ball, but he just said something about Eric Garner. So I'm plugged in now. So do you think me manifesting the gun ball, me saying the word, basically, do you think my intent is gonna manifest, or do you think the words override my intent?
Great question, Marcus.
That's a great question. There's no such thing as a stupid question. The root word question is quest. You're on a journey. I'm going to show you where you want to go. Never compromise your integrity. You are responsible for what you know. Therefore, if you know no good can come of a thing, don't incorporate it. Why does the gun bar track? Because we're dealing with a low frequency of understanding. What you should do is not stoop down, but cause your audience to rise up. We've been doing the stoop down, and how well has that gotten us?
Welcome to the Poker Face Society. My name is Jamel Saladin. Today we are talking about word magic. That was the brother Star Kim. I believe he's out of New York. He's just giving me New York vibes. You understand? But I wouldn't be surprised if it was like the bro is out of DC, you know. I've seen this energy and from different cities. But I can tell you one thing, he's definitely talking right. I made some notes about my show today, so bear with me. I have no producer. I'm going to go over to my conversation that I had with ChatGPT. I want to share that with you guys. Don't worry, if you can't see that, I always make it bigger so that everybody could see. That's a little bit too ridiculous. Let's come out a little bit. Okay, let's start right here, right? I want everybody to be able to read the conversation. All right. I asked, what do you, so let me slow down. Let me slow way down because not everyone understands what ChatGPT even is. So this is an artificial intelligence bot. You can ask it questions. You could do all type of stuff, right? Um, as you can see over here, I use it for my SEO description. So for my videos, I don't even write my description because I want the search engine optimization. I want to get the most viewers for this particular topic. So what I do is I use ChatGPT to come in here and ask it to write a video description for me that will generate a high SEO score. right? But I'm not going to hold you. Sometimes I just argue with ChatGPT for no reason at all. I just feel like arguing today. You understand? But I also use it to learn. So you have a jewel that I given you today. If you don't know, I've put my mom's onto this. I put my daughter onto this. My daughter don't even want to write book reports no more, so I got to make sure she reads the book because she's like, well, I have ChatGPT. I can get it done in 5 minutes. Technically, she's right, but that's not what we want to do. I still need you to learn how to read, little girl. Okay? So I went in there this morning and I said, what do you know about the U.S. civil flag? And I want to go through this conversation with you. So the Chat GPT says the U.S. civil flag is a flag that is based on the original design of the American flag, but with some differences in its symbolism. The civil flag has a blue, and then it goes into that, this, that, and the third, right? And it is intended. Okay, check this part out. I won't say verbatim for the sake of not making the show boring. I'm going to paraphrase some of the responses that it had. So it said the civil flag was intended to represent the sovereignty of people and the principles of the constitutional law. And that caught me right there. I was just like, whoa. Because not for nothing, you definitely hear the scientific Moorish nation, you hear them talk about these things. Like I said, I grew up in New York, so my mix of knowledge is coming from all over the place, right? There's no way you grew up in New York and you not rubbing shoulders with somebody who's Moorish. You're not rubbing shoulders with somebody that's 5% nation. I'm talking about our Pan African men and women. But if you're a man and you outside, then you know somebody scientific Moorish. You know somebody that's got a body. Somebody that's Christian. Somebody that's you know. And then a mindset like mine, come on now. So I fully understood. I'm like, oh, wait, there was first of all, I had no idea there was something called a civil flag. I'm not going to hold you. So that's why I asked the Chat GPT because I'm like, Chat GPT is going to tell me the truth sometimes, right? Sometimes they're going to tell you the truth. It's not going to tell you the truth all the time. But I guess it figured it's no sense in lying to him. This is an innocent question. He wants to know about the civil flag. Let me know. Let me let him know about the civil flag. Not knowing in the first paragraph, you already let me know too much. Because if it was intended to represent the sovereignty of people and the principles of the constitutional law, whoa, you said way too much for me, beloved. Now my ears is wide open. What are you talking about, AI? So the civil flag is often used, but now it tries to dumb it down right around here, right? It says the civil flag is often used by certain groups and individuals who reject the authority of the federal government and instead advocate for a return to a more limited and decentralized form of governance. I said, what are you talking about? However, it is important to note that the civil flag is not officially recognized by the US government and does not have any legal status or authority. Now, let me let you know something. As you use Chat GPT, it often does this. It starts to lean very left winged. It doesn't want you to know too much. It doesn't, I'm not going to say it's census, but it starts to really get tight-lipped on the information and it gives all these disclaimers. It does this all the time. While the symbolism and the uses of the civil flag may be important to some people, it is important to recognize that the American flag is recognized and used by the federal government, and most Americans is the flag with the 50 stars representing the 50 states. This is AI. Then I respond, officially recognized is rhetoric. Is the U.S. civil flag an official flag or not? Then ChatGPT responds to me and says, no. The U.S. civil flag is not an official flag of the United States. The American flag that is officially recognized and used by the federal government and most Americans is the flag with the 50 stars. While the U.S. civil flag may be used by certain groups, it starts to repeat itself, right? I'm like, all right, cool. When did it stop having power? Right? Now it gets very specific. And I know after I hit the word enter that is, I already know what it's going to do, because as soon as I hit enter, I'm like, well, the flag doesn't have power, so I know what it's going to say. And it says exactly what I think it's going to say. The U.S. flag, civil flag, has never had any legal or official power or status as a national flag, as it is not recognized or specified by federal law. While it may have symbolic or historical significance to some individual groups, it keeps saying that, right? But it doesn't know that all you're doing is making me more inquisitive. Every time you try to give me some type of answer that is kind of like where I feel like you're trying to walk me out the door, like, nah, 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 nah. I'm like, why you keep doing that? It does not have any legal authority or power. So I rephrase my question. So when did the U.S. civil flag stop being used to symbolize the federal status of the U.S.? It responds back to me. The U.S. civil flag has never been used to symbolize the federal status of the United States, as it is not official or recognized flag of the U.S. government. Its usage is generally limited, and then it goes into that again, right? Say, okay. So I ask another question. So are you saying the U.S. civil flag has never used been used by any government office or officials in history? Now, it doesn't know how much I know, so it wants to protect itself. So it starts off with, to my knowledge. Okay, cool. To my knowledge, the U.S. civil flag has never been used as an official flag by any government office or official in the history of the United States. While the civil flag may have been used, okay, it's going to keep repeating itself. Okay, no problem. Then what I try to do is I try to do a spin move where I give it some information, right? And see, I want to see what it does with it. But it was really a weak spin move, but I just wanted to see what it did. I copied and pasted some verbiage from another site and I gave it to it, right? And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says on May 26, 1913, with the approval of the Senate bill, blase, blase, blah. Now, I kind of know this is not enough to confuse it. I do know that. And it comes back, it kind of just parries that right there and comes back with a good blow, right? So it just parries that and it says the information you provided describes the evolution of the flag used by the U.S. Coast Guard, but it does not change the fact that the U.S. civil flag has never been an official flag of the United States. Okay, it's kind of getting spicy. You understand? And the AI could do that sometimes. This is why when he always says, the AI always says, so I don't have emotions. I'm like, yo, you sound like you got emotions right now, bro. All right, because you're talking kind of spicy to me right now, Lord. But let's keep going. So I try another move. Understand? Because this jab ain't working. Okay, let me try something else. Is this true? The Stars and Stripes originated as a result of a resolution adopted by the Marine Committee of the Second Continental Congress, blase, blase, blah. It says, yes, that is true. Okay, I'm about to work your body now. Now I'm about to work your body. The Stars and the Stripes, which is the official national flag of the United States, was first adopted by the Marine Committee of the Second Continental Congress, blase, blase, blah. We get into that. I got him to say it's true, right? I take another piece of something I was reading and I asked, is this true? The vertical stripes were adopted for use over civilian establishments, right? Now we getting somewhere. But first I want to see if it's going to tell me the truth. I'm setting it up. It don't know I'm setting it up, right? It don't even know that. But I'm setting it up for for the AI to keep saying yes, yes, yes. You say yes too many times, and I'm gonna say that how is this true? And that's what happened. Watch. Is this true? Vertical stripes was adopted for use over civilian establishments. The civil flag intended for peacetime used in custom house civilian settings has vertical stripes with blue stars on a white field. By the law of the flag, the design denoted civil jurisdiction under the Constitution and common law. It goes on to say some things. I talk about a law in 1874 when the Treasury Secretary William A. Richardson required all custom houses to display the civil flag. AI says, yes, it is true that the vertical stripes were adopted for use over civilian establishments. Uh-oh, AI. But what can you do? I backed you into a corner. You understand? I put it in the bag and you tried it. Your best bet was not to try to argue with me at all. You understand? It says, yes, it is true that the vertical stripes were adopted for use over civilian establishments, and the civil flag was intended for peacetime use in custom house civilian settings. The civil flag has vertical stripes with blue stars on a white field, and it was intended to denote the civil jurisdiction under the Constitution and common law as opposed to military jurisdiction. Do y'all hear what I'm saying to you? Listen, this is the AI telling me this. I would have never known we had two flags, I promise you. I definitely would not have known that we had a flag called the civil flag. The civil flag was initially used by the custom houses, but it became adopted by merchants and others who wanted to show their civilian nature and not to be under military control. The practice of using the custom flags as civil flags was eventually encoded in law. 1874, when Treasury Secretary William A. Richardson required all custom households to display the civil flag. Okay, so I ask it, I say, elaborate on civil flag was intended for peacetime and use in custom housing civilian settings. Explain what this meant and means. So it does. The use of the civil flag was intended to distinguish between military and civilian authority in peacetime settings. It doesn't know where I'm going. I know where I'm going, right? Because where I'm going is this. If there was a flag that was used during peacetime, and there was a flag that was used during military authority time, and they was two different flags, then my thing is, why are we still using a flag for military authority time, right? But I'm taking the long way home on the AI. I'm just going to walk it out. I'm just going to walk it out, and that's what I do. So I'm asking it to explain first, what do you mean by civil flag intended for peacetime? I want you to explain to me. So it does. The use of the civil flag was intended to distinguish between the military and civilian authority in peacetime settings. Custom houses, which were responsible for collecting taxes and imports and enforcing trade regulations, were considered civilian institutions. The civil flag was meant to be flown at these custom houses and other civilian establishments to signify that they were under civilian authority and not military control. It goes on to say some other things. I say this. So is the United States in peacetime settings currently? AI says yes, the United States is currently in state of peace. The country is not engaged in any major wars or military conflicts, and it is not under attack by any foreign powers. However, the country may still be involved in various diplomatic or economic disputes with other nations, but these do not constitute a state of war. Boom. Here's my question. So why are we using a flag that indicates military control? AI, the use of a flag with gold fringe is largely ceremonial and does not necessarily indicate military control. It goes on to say a whole bunch of other stuff. I have to slow it down. I say, listen, bro, I didn't say anything about gold fringe in my last question. I asked, why are we using a flag that indicates military control? The I apologize for the confusion. The use of the flag that indicates military control is a matter of interpretation and perception. The flag of the United States, with or without gold fringe, is intended to represent the unity and sovereignty of the nation as well as its values and ideals. While some individuals may interpret the gold fringe as a symbol of military control, it is not officially recognized as such by the government. Ultimately, the choice is to use the flag in different settings and contexts is a matter of tradition and conviction. So I hit it with this. But according to the codified in law in 1874, it is not a matter of tradition and convention, rather of law and legal matters. AI says you are correct. Say that again, AI. AI says you are correct that the use of the civil flag was codified in law in 1874 by Treasury Secretary William A. Richardson, requiring all custom houses to display the civil flag. However, it is important to note that the civil flag was intended for use in custom house civilian settings during peacetime and is not as a replacement for the national flag or as an indicator of military control. The gold fringe on some flags is a matter of tradition and convention rather than law. It goes on to say that again. So I say, can you provide me with the specific law code by Treasury Secretary William A. Richardson in 1874 concerning this matter, please? Here go the AI. I apologize for my previous mistake. There is no record of Treasury Secretary of a Treasury Secretary named William A. Richardson. After conducting further research, I have found that the claim about civil flag being codified in law 1874 is a common misconception, and there is no evidence to support it. Yo, what are we doing out here, AI? Are you the AI? Are you the AI we are supposed to believe, bro? What are you talking about? You apologize, bro. You out here spewing nonsense, bro. I can't even debate. I can't always get on Sidnet's platform, but guess what? I got you to beat up on all day long. You understand? We just gonna work it out. This is just mental calisthenics for me talking to you, bro. You understand? So it says, I apologize for any confusion my previous response may have caused. So I'm laughing. And I just decide to change this subject. Check it out. TV, I see you, bro. We here. We building right now, Lord. Stick around. So I decided to change the subject. I say, is it true that there is the law of the land and the law of the water? AI responds, there is a concept known as the law of the land and the law of the sea in legal theory. Here we go. Beware of rhetoric. I'm telling you right now. And if you go use this chat GPT AI, any AI, don't automatically think is giving you the truth. You got to fact check everything as you should, right? So it says legal theory. Come on, bro. Don't talk to me crazy legal theory. But let's continue on. I'll hear you out. But it is not accurate to say that there are two separate sets of law. The law of the land generally refers to the laws that apply within a particular country or jurisdiction, while the law of the sea refers to the body of international law that governs maritime activities and issues such as navigation, fishing rights, and environmental protection in the world's oceans. Both sets of laws are recognized and enforced by governments and international bodies. I mean, he gave me an answer that was politically correct, and to some, it may have been enough, but not Saladin. So I push further. So the law of the high seas is a real legit thing. And it says, yes, the law of the high seas, also known as maritime law or admiralty law, is a real and legitimate area of law that governs maritime issues and activities taking place on the high seas or on other navigable, I don't know that word, navigable waters. It covers a wide range of legal matters such as maritime commerce. Remember that maritime commerce, shipping, navigation, piracy, marine pollution, and more. Always want to know and more. Maritime law is enforced by various international conventions and national laws, and it has its own courts and legal procedures for resolving disputes. It don't know I'm setting them up again. You understand? It don't even know I'm about to hit it with the 1-2 jab, and you're gonna fall right on your one knee. I heard that you deal with banking. Here go my. See, this whole time I just been blocking, right? Blocking, parry, blocking, parry. Now I'm about to hit him with the blow. You understand? One jab, pow, right to your jaw. Here we go. I say, I heard that you deal with banking. When you deal with banking, you are dealing with the law of the high seas. Watch the artificial intelligence. Bow down to Saladin. As an artificial intelligence language, I do not deal with banking. As I am not a physical entity, I do not have access to financial transactions or info. Yo, bro, what are you whining about? What are you talking about right now, beloved? What are you talking about? I made it hit. Yo, I hit him in the head with the hedge. The only time, so for you people that have not really dealt with Chat GPT, the only time it starts doing that as an AI business is when it doesn't want to answer the question. Is when it doesn't want to answer the question. Right? And it seen where I was going. It usually does that when there's like emotions involved, right? Because we was arguing earlier about bad and good and stuff like that. And the AI was like, well, I don't have any emotions as an AI. I don't, I don't go into bad and good. I just do what the people do. I said, okay, no problem. Cool. But he didn't see that one coming. So he didn't know. Right? He didn't know. He knew. He figured out if I answer this like this. You see this? I said, I heard that I meant to say that when you deal with banking, you are under the law of the high seas, which would have meant that we are under international law, which would mean that we are in maritime law. And look what the AI said. It didn't even want to answer me. And that's when I just started laughing and I said, I got you. I got you. Now, let's listen because you're here to learn. And I'm going to have to break this video up. Where we at? We at 47. We doing good on time. We doing good in time. And I'm going to break up this video anyway because I just feel like you guys would do better with like certain parts that I'm going to talk about. You'll do better with 15 minutes, right? But don't go nowhere. Everybody stick around. This is going to be a great show. We talk about word magic today. We have Jordan Maxwell coming up, and he's going to share some things with us right now. Take it away, Jordan.
Subject today, which is the occult world of commerce. Let me give you a couple of examples of I think where you need to start thinking. If you are going to send a box through the mail and you need to wrap it with some rope, you go out in the garage and you find some rope and tie up the box, and that should be sufficient to do the mailing. But if you're going to take that rope out to the edge of a 10-story building and hang on it, you better trust and you better examine the integrity of that rope now, because your life hangs in the balance on it. Another example is if you owned a 2-story building and you were going to put a lot of weight on the second floor. If you were smart, you would go downstairs first with the structural engineer, get on a ladder and go up through the ceiling tiles and examine the floor that you're going to put that weight on to see if the floor is going to hold that kind of weight.
Understand what he's saying right now, right? I want you to pay attention to what he's actually saying. Don't drift off right now. Right now is not the time to be drifting off. Pay attention to what Jordan is saying because he's breaking some things down.
So what you're doing is you are standing under the foundation you're going to build on. You're standing under to get understanding. Because that's where the word understand comes from. To stand under the foundation that you're building on. Understanding words is what you really need to start doing. You need to start doing your homework and understanding words. If you put an S in front of words, it becomes swords. And that's what words are. They're cutting. They can cause you great trouble. Humans are word control creatures. So we need to establish what words mean. Again, when we talk about law, there's a Roman maximum in law that says, for he that would be deceived, let him. Simply meaning, if you are so ignorant as to be deceived, then that's your business. That's your problem. So you.
Nah, that's not William Cooper. That's Jordan Maxwell. But shout out to the GOAT William Cooper too. You understand? He's a true American hero, William Cooper. Now, this is Jordan Maxwell speaking. And when I first started the show, I showed the brother Star Kim down there in Harlem, down there with Sarnetta, kicking knowledge, right? Star Kim said he don't have no religion. He don't believe in no spooky God. But as we listen to the brother Jordan Maxwell, I want you to pay attention to the similarities of their conversation. There's a knowledge that these two individuals who don't appear to be anything alike or the same age. Star Kim, Star Kim is down there. He's dressed in hip hop attire. This gentleman here has on his double breast suit. But yet, they're talking the same language. So, how does this happen? Let's continue listening to the brother as we get back to that answer later.
Need to do your homework and find out what words mean, especially in relation to law and government, because there is a world of occultism that is operating today throughout the world, in which you use certain words, and when those words are used in a court, they don't mean the same thing at all. Understanding law and the words of law, there are two things that this planet has: water and earth, water and land. Consequently, there are two kinds of law: the law of the land and the law of water. You've heard the term law of the land, but in point of fact, that's precisely what this word means, law of the land, because it is the people who live on land. And that is opposed to something else called the law of the high seas, or the law of water. You need to understand the difference. The law of the land is the law of the culture that lives on the land. And so consequently, the law of the land is different in every country. You can do things in America you can't do in Russia. You can do things in Africa you can't do in England. So the law of the land is the law of the culture that lives on that particular land. However, there is a higher law that dominates the entire world. It's called the law of the water, or the law of the high seas. The law of water is referred to as the law of money. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you're from, or where you live. Money is money. And anytime you're doing banking or using money, you are now under the law of water, maritime admiralty.
All right. So now we see why the AI did not want to answer me, right? And it just bowed out, and it was like, "Yo, but as an AI, whatever it said, it all the cockiness it had before. Remember when it had all the bass in his voice, like yo, like I said before, and it was hitting me with the uppercut. It has nothing to do with this era. It was breaking down. It's like, damn, you sound like Brother Baines in here, AI. He was breaking it down. Soon as I hit it with the high seas law, law and all that, the international maritime law and the banking and all that, it just bowed down. It just well, as an AI, I can't really, I don't got nothing to do with banking and all that. I didn't say you had anything to do with banking right now, AI. What are you talking about right now, Lord? I simply asked you that when we dealing with banking, are we dealing with the law of the high seas? And because it did not want to answer me, it just fizzled out. So I'm gonna have to take Jordan Maxwell at his word that he's telling the truth, because whoever programmed you specifically did not want you to admit that when we are dealing with currency, that when we dealing with banking, we are dealing with the law of the high seas and not the law of the land. Let's go.
If you go back in history, in ancient history, where all of this began, back in the land of Cana, and you probably have heard in the Bible, the land of Cana. The Canaanites were Phoenician bloodline, and in the ancient Phoenician language, Cana meant merchant banker. The very word merchant comes from mer, M-E-R, for the sea, for water. As a mermaid, we have merchant. Merchant bankers. Let me give an example of the difference between the law of water and the law of the land. The law of water, as I said, is a law of banking, money, as opposed to the law of the custom of the people or the law of the land. The Statue of Liberty must be put in water. It could not be put on American land as such. It had to be put in the harbor because it's not the Statue of Freedom. It's a Statue of Liberty. Liberty is what a sailor gets when he pulls into port on a ship. He gets liberty. He's not free. So America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're not free or brave, period. We're not free. This is not a free country. Now let me give you an example.
I'm going to stop right there, right? Switch up the pace. His name is Jordan Maxwell. You guys could go over and listen to his videos. I got some audio I want you guys to listen to. Shout out to everybody. Etymology is deep, splashing. And here's the funny thing, bro. Most people won't believe you when you start breaking these things down because we're such on autopilot. It's just like, ah, man, you kicking that. So they're not gonna believe you. Just like when I be telling people, right? Yo, it's the music. All right, this is my prime example. And I hopefully Mikey B is in the house. Sometime Mikey B in the house, be in the house and he don't say nothing. So shout it out. But um I try to explain to Mikey B all the time that the music is being weaponized. And you know, bro is in the music industry and he got artists. So it's a hard thing to really come to that realization that like, nah, bro. It's just these kids is just rapping about the environment. That's all they really doing. And I see it totally different. Matter of fact, I don't think they would be rapping at all if it didn't look like such low hanging fruit that had the benefit of such a high paying turnaround, right? So all I gotta do is spit out some words, and I got the ability, I have the potential to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly millions. I mean, you gotta be millions might take a second for today's rappers. I don't know what's going on. There's just so many rappers nowadays. I'm out the loop. I mean, I know Drake has made millions right now, but you're talking about all the little Pump and all these new rappers. I don't know. But then again, guess what? K Flock technically made $1 million. Did he get to spend $1 million? He did not. And that is my point, right? When a record label, he didn't even make $1 million because he went around touring. there was a group of individuals who sat in a room and said, let's give him $1,000,000. Why would you give K Flock $1,000,000? Was it his lyrics? Was his lyrics hitting that hard where you was like, yo, he is nuts? Let's keep it 1,000. Was his lyrics hitting that hard where you was like, yo, I've never heard nothing like this before? Let's not lose him. Let's give him $1,000,000 up top. No. I don't care who you bring up here right now. Five God, anybody from the Bronx. Fact is, his rhymes was not hitting like that where it was like, yo, son is wicked with it. He's crazy. Let's pay him $1,000,000. But it's about marketing, advertising, and making your money make more money, right? Your money needs to go and make more monies. And somebody said something to me the other day that was so significant. They said that the music industry has commercialized the streets. So let me bring it all together. What I just said. I said making your money make more money. So when you are in a position where you're on several boards, right? You're on the board of private prison. You're on the board of music record labels. You're on the board of visual search engines. All that. You're gonna cross advertise. So because I do make money in the prison industry and I do make money in the music industry, how about I could get them to go ahead and do the advertising that will eventually get people locked up anyway, because that's what they're kicking out here anyway. And they wasn't taught the things I was taught. They have no understanding on how vibration. They don't even believe in frequency. That the power, there's a power in frequency, and it has the ability to inspire, encourage, motivate. They don't believe in it. And for the ones that have heard about it, they don't believe in it. But there's a whole other group of people that don't know about it at all. They never heard about it. They don't know nothing. They run around, they saying, you know, the vibes, but that's it. So in the rest of the show, we're going to get into some things. I'm going to show you a video that proves. I might show you two videos. I'm definitely going to show you one video, because I've been saying to you guys all this time that everything is frequency, right? So we're going to go, I'm going to play a video that will show you the frequency of sound and how sound literally changes this salt that is on a platform. And every time he changes it to a different frequency, you get to see the image of sound, which most of us never do. Right? Let's first start off with some audio. Word magic. Let's go.
Words are used by people to communicate every day.
Hold up. Stop. Let me turn that up for the people, man. Start over.
Words are used by people to communicate every day. Yet most people still do not realize how words shape their lives and perception. Did you know that most people speak over 7,000 words per day? As of May 2016, there are about 7.4 billion people living on Earth. If you multiply 7,000 words by 7.4 billion people, you get 51 trillion, 800 billion, or 51.8 trillion words. This means that at least 51.8 trillion words are spoken every day. Even though we hear and speak words all the time, most of us have little or no clue as to how powerful words are. Words are not just elements of speech or writing, because when words are spoken out loud, they transform into sound, frequency, and vibration. Words also carry information which plays an important role for communication. Without information, we will have a hard time learning things and communicating to one another. Because words carry information, sound, frequency, and vibration, they play a very important role in our lives. Furthermore, they can be used to harness the power of energy. As mankind, we did not always rely heavily on words to communicate, because we used to have a stronger telepathic bond with one another. Due to certain tragic
Now, you hear what he just said? We used to have a stronger telepathic bond with one another. So, remember, these words here was taken from somewhere else. This story of the Tower of Babel is way older than this Bible, and the story of the Tower of Babel is way older than Jesus. But anyway, as I go to Genesis chapter 11, and it says, the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. That one language and one speech was more or less telepathic. It is very true, Valerie. Unfortunately, I would not lie to you, Valerie. I would not lie to you. I may not have a religion, but that don't mean I'm going to come up here and persuade you to think any different. Let's go.
events in our past that caused the higher elements of our DNA to, in a sense, mutate and turn off. Many words were introduced by the dark forces. Groups of self-serving thought form entities as hypnotic symbols to manipulate our minds. The source of the dark forces' malevolent behaviors is a cosmic virus. This virus is not your common virus because it is very intelligent. The main goal of the cosmic virus is to infect all living things in the universe with its psychopathic thoughts and death science ideology. Many people's minds are infected with the psychopathic thoughts of the cosmic virus, especially people who have strong psychopathic traits. Like any virus, the goal of the cosmic virus is to drain its host of energy until it dies, and therefore its mission is to cause death and destruction throughout the universe. The good news is that this virus can only infect us when we live in a state of ignorance, fear, hatred, and irresponsibility. As we learn to live peaceably with one another and heal our bodies and activate the higher elements of our DNA, our frequency will increase beyond the limit of the cosmic virus, making us immune to it. Today, many scientists like to refer to the higher elements of our DNA as junk DNA because they believe these elements have no function. There is nothing junk about the higher elements of our DNA because nature would never create something that has no role to play in the progression of the universe.
Now stop right there. As we know right now, they're playing around. Man has developed these tools. One of the tools that he's developed is something called um, CRISPR-Cas9. This edits DNA. They've been trying to find out. They've figured out a lot about the DNA, but a lot of it they have not figured out, and they're out here freestyling and free balling, which we know they do. How do we know they do it? Because they just did it with the COVID-19 vaccines. They did not. Now they admit that they weren't abreast of all the potential adverse effects, and they, in my opinion, kind of went willy nilly, aggressively trying to get everyone to partake in their science, and now they're paying out lawsuits because people are starting to sue because of the adverse effects. They're not paying out a lot. It's $1,000 here and $2,000 there. Nothing that's worth you being put into a situation where you're grasping for your life at all. And trust me, myocarditis is on the mild side when it comes to the adverse effects. The stories that I've been hearing and reading about and researched about the adverse effects, they could get pretty drastic. So when going back to what he was saying, junk DNA, it's junk to y'all because y'all don't know everything because y'all wasn't intended to know. But y'all doing a great job at trying to find out. Only thing is, and I would be on board with you, but you're sacrificing a lot of Homo sapiens down here to get to the next level. And that, my friend, is not cool. And that is called genocide. Let's go.
Our junk DNA contains the higher and more powerful elements of our DNA. Because of this, it holds some of the keys to unlocking memories of our true history and activating our dormant spiritual powers, for example, telepathy. The reason that our junk DNA does not seem to function is because the frequencies of our bodies are not vibrating in harmony with it, causing it to turn off. In our current physical condition, turning on all the higher elements of our DNA at once would destroy our health.
Mm.
The current state of our bodies cannot handle the high-frequency energies that travel through the higher elements of our DNA. To safely activate our junk DNA without damaging our bodies, we need to slowly increase the frequencies of our bodies to the point where they harmonize with the frequencies of our junk DNA. Once this happens, our junk DNA and bodies will communicate and function properly.
Now, if none of this was true, what he was saying, right? You got to ask yourself and just pay attention. They are working mighty hard at trying to get us not to harmonize with the, how can I phrase this, right? Because of what I believe in, and I want to package it up for everyone to accept it, right? But there's a higher consciousness that is higher than love, right? And this is who many people call God, whatever. This is who I'm just going to say a higher power. But I believe this higher power to be definitely vibrating at a certain frequency that I can tap into. And the goal is to consistently vibrate at that level, right? But because we are more or less demigod, what makes us more demigods? Well, this, first of all, this suit that we wear and we call flesh in a body. We got to walk around with this thing or everywhere we go on earth. So this immediately puts us into a category of a demigod. So to really bring out that power, our godlike power, we have to learn how to resonate at a frequency of the Most High. But there's so many things down here that deter us from doing that, is my point. There's so many things down here that will deter us. All the optics that we watch, that they put on TV. It's like there are good things there, but there's more things there subconsciously you're not even paying attention. This is why I don't watch the news, right? You may be thinking, yo, you woke because you watch all the news. Bro, pay attention to what the news is telling you. Why would I want to watch that at 6 o'clock in the morning and at 6 o'clock at night, right before? So you want me to start my day off with what you talking about? What you talking about is low frequency. And it is definitely trying to implement fear You're definitely trying to give me some form of fear. Every morning that I wake up, you telling me that there's terrorists after me. You telling me, you showing me some image of some hoodlums at the corner of my house that just randomly just went up to somebody and did something. All you want me to do is fear. Then right before I go to bed, you're going to show me the same image. Do you think this is by accident?
Because the higher elements of our DNA are, in a sense, turned off. Our spiritual powers and higher senses are weakened, making it easier for the dark forces to use words to deceive us. All the languages of mankind have been severely distorted by the dark forces, allowing them to use words as magic spells to manipulate us. However, they can only manipulate us when we do not know how to use words wisely. If you study the origin and history of words and languages and their connection to certain secret societies, you should eventually come to the conclusion that all languages are interconnected at a very deep level. Furthermore, you should know that the language system is the dark forces' favorite tool to use to cast magic spells on mankind, so they can control our bodies, minds, and souls. By the end of this book, you will know specifically what that means.
Now, it's just funny to me. Now, I'm about to show you guys a whole nother video, right? But it's just funny to me. Like I said, you had Star Kim, a hip hop militant god body, right? And I say hip hop because of the clothing that he had on. He had on the do rag, this, that, and the third, right? And I'm pretty, hip hop has many elements, but when it's commercialized, they really got you out here thinking that everything out of hip hop, everything out of New York hip hop got to be the dirtiest, grimiest, dingiest. And I debate with people all the time, people that have actual record deals, that old school cats in the game, and they be like, nah, hip hop is street. And then I have to go into it like, yo, okay, it's street. It started, no, they say hip hop started in the street. So what that mean, bro? So because it started in the street, the only thing you can ever talk about in hip hop is death and destruction? Why would I want to talk about that? I mean, I think we did a great job in the 90s with Digital Underground, Chubb Rock, Poor Righteous Teacher, Public Enemy. There's so many. Big Daddy Kane, Heavy D and the Boys, Salt and Pepper. They didn't only talk about death and destruction. What are you talking about? I don't even know how we can have some of these conversations. Brand Nubian. What? All right. Let's get into, I want to show you this video, right? Because rarely do you get a chance to see how sound actually, the frequency, the image of the frequency of sound. Rarely do we get to see that. MC Light, word. Rarely do we get to see the image of the frequency of sound. So when I be talking to people and I'm like, yo, the frequency, low vibes, they don't be understanding. They think I'm just reiterating something that I might have heard on the train. Right? And they're not understanding. And I will do a show where I break down how everything is vibrating at a different frequency, and therefore this is how you get all of these different optics, these different sounds, these different smells, these different tastes. Everything is vibrating at different frequency. But let's get into this video here that kind of proves my point. Now, this is only sand and dust on a plate. This is not no special effects. He's not, the only way he could change that shape, him or her could change that shape, is basically by changing the sound. So now do you understand why people say the universe was built by mathematics? Mathematics is in all aspects of the universe because there's hidden geometry in everything. You just don't understand it because you cannot see it. But you cannot see a microbe. That doesn't mean that microbes don't exist. You don't always see a flame. But I bet if you put it under your hand, it's going to be hot. You understand? Let's go. Look at the geometry, beloved. Look at the geometry. That's perfect mathematics right there that we're talking about. That's perfect mathematics. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's not man-made right there. You understand? But it takes some understanding at the same time. Perfect shapes, B Dolo. Now, what I'm going to do for y'all is I'm going to shut the actual audio off now that everyone knows that it is changing frequency. So anytime you see a change, I'm shutting the audio off of your ears, right? So let's go. That's crazy. The higher the frequency, the more complex the shape. Exactly. Look, whoa. Look at that, beloved. Give me a second. Don't nobody go nowhere. I want to pull up another video for you, right? I want to pull up another, since we here and we learn it today. Since we here. And somebody wake up Double R. Where the hell is Double R? Okay. All right. I got the video. I got the other one. All right. So hold on. Let me just go ahead and bring this other video up right now. Since we here, I might as well not even play with it. And let's do this right now. Now, this is going to also help prove that I'm not just making these things up. See, I'm so passionate and I get so upset when I hear the rap music because I know it. We don't even own the digital music platforms. We didn't own the record labels like that. It was one or two of us. Shout out to Barry Gordy. You understand? Shout out to Bob Johnson, who owned BET but then sold it for billions when he was going to be a billionaire anyway. You didn't even have to sell it. See, when we keep selling what we have, we selling our people down the river because they don't care about us like that. We're throwaways. We're good for prison. You understand? Because the majority of us, that is where we've built that industry up. And you can't just snatch that away because people are going to lose their jobs and it's going to really damage the stability, the financial stability of the whole country. Because America decided that it was one of the legs that our financial system was going to stand on would be criminal justice, and that the Pan African people was going to be the foundation for that footing, right? With no exits, with no exit strategy. So now you got all these cops, you got all these correctional officers, you got all these prisons. These are thousands of jobs. It's just not like Google where you say, you know what, you laid off. Because it's bigger than that. Because if you let these people out now that you biologically engineered them to slow down their cognitive skills, and you did, through inoculations, and you did, and then you paid other people to say that don't let this news out. But the research is already out there. And whoever else did the research that connected certain cognitive diseases that young people go through or were born with to the inoculations, then what did you do? You made these researchers look like quacks. This is what you do, beloved. This is why I'm talking the way I'm talking now, because you won't even allow me to say the word. Because if I say it any other way, it is in YouTube's clause that they will take my page away. Hand to God. So I can't even tell the truth up here. So I have to outsmart you like I just outsmarted the AI. But I'm going to let my people know either way. So if I was to have another child, no thank you for whatever you want to put in my baby. No thank you. You guys are murderers and evil scientists. You do not have all the answers. You don't have barely none of the answers. When I be asking for success ratios, when I go to they be wanting to give people stuff. I asked the doctor, yo, what's the success ratio on that? Well, this one is at 12%. Yo, blood. Had to stop. Check this out. What are you even talking about right now? What are you talking about right now? You want to give my baby something that is at an 8%, 12% ratio? Stop letting these people play with your real life. Stop letting them play with your real life. It's crazy. Let's get into this.
This next series of photographs are the work of Japanese researcher Mr. Masaru Emoto from his book, The Message from Water. Mr. Emoto.
All right, if you just tapping in, don't go nowhere. Just stick around. A lot of you guys, you want to change the channel because you came over here for nonsense, and I ain't got no nonsense over here to give you. I only got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to give you, beloved. That's it. I don't got no knowledge. I don't got no nonsense to give you. But we just we just watched a video showing how audio frequency actually does vibrate within the realms of mathematics. And we was able to see a visual context of this, right? So now I want to show you how words even have a frequency. And we're going to get back into the book, word magic, in a second. But here's a video by Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto. He did a water experiment just using words. Pay attention to the video, and you're going to learn something today.
Emoto's work provides factual evidence that human vibrational energy, thoughts, words, ideas, and music affect the molecular structure of water. Please remember that water.
It's just not water splashing that holds a message. You gotta understand, water is only water because it's vibrating at a certain frequency. So the energy itself is we are of the energy. It's all around us. This is why you have to pay attention to what you eat, what you say, what you think, what you watch, what you listen to. You have to be very aware, very conscious. Let's go.
Water comprises over 70% of a mature human body and covers the same amount on our planet. Water is the very source of all life. This photo shows the beautifully formed geometric design of the Yushi Spring water. This next photo is from the Shimanto River, the last clean spring in Japan. Notice the extraordinary geometric forms. The fact that the molecular structure of water can be affected by our consciousness, our intent, and our sounds is extremely important.
All right, I'm going to slow that down right there for some people. You understand? Because I don't want you just watching my videos and just having fun and you here for it. No. You got to walk away understanding that over 70% of the earth is water. That over 70% of your body is water. Now, look at that design right there. Some may have thought that was a diamond. That molecular structure, that geometry is so sophisticated perfectly though. Nah, bro. I don't think y'all really see what's going on here, right? I need y'all to really look at this geometry right here. That is beautiful. And when we discover in a second that simple words created that geometry and shape, then that's just something else, beloved. That's just something else. Let's go. Let's finish watching the video. Perfection splashing.
Important. This photo is from the Mount Cook Glacier in New Zealand. Mr. Emoto has been visually documenting these molecular changes in water by means of his photographic techniques. He freezes droplets of water, then examines them under a dark field microscope that has photographic capabilities. His work clearly demonstrates the diversity of the molecular structure of water and the effects of the environment upon the structure of the water. This photo is from the fountain in Lourdes, France. This photo is from contaminated water from the Yodo River in Japan. In this photo, we can compare the contaminated water with clean stream water. Look at the difference. Mr. Emoto decided to see what effects music would have upon the structure of water. He placed distilled water between two speakers for several hours while playing different music and then photographing the crystals that formed after the water was frozen. This photo is of water being exposed to Beethoven's Pastorale. This photo is the effect of Bach's Air for the G string on the water.
That's pretty.
This photo is water exposed to Chopin's farewell song. This next photo is water being exposed and affected to music that was designed for healing. This photo is of water being exposed to the Kawachi folk dance.
Stop. Stop. That shape right there was created from the exposure of music. I want you to understand that. It was folk dance music. That means a frequency of music created this design. Now, I'm doing this video today because I heard some people say, I don't understand. I don't believe all that science stuff. Right? But I don't think they knew about these experiments. So you're responsible for what you know. So you may not want to understand because maybe you want to take advantage of the music. Maybe you want to get on this music deal, make a few 100,000 and get out and then say, yeah. That's a shame. Yeah, I understand now. But guess what? You might as well not watch no more of my videos because I'm only here to do the bidding for the light. This is why I don't play. This is why I don't play with that. A lot of people, I don't got nothing against those people over there. I don't got nothing against, I love those guys over there. But I understand the power of saying I'm part of a dark side. And then talk about a certain thing every day. You're inviting something into your life that you don't even know what you're inviting, bro. But I know when I say it, I just sound like Saladin's talking that. My IG is Jamel_Saladin. But I'm telling you what I know. How is it that again? How is it? I done ran like to at least 3 people, 4 people today, including myself, that we all talking the same language. Where do you think you think we just picked this up out of a trash can somewhere? What we saying? Come on, bro. Let's continue.
This photo shows the effect of heavy metal music upon the water. Here now we can compare the effects of healing versus heavy metal music and what happens to the water molecules. Mr. Emoto decided to see how thoughts and words affected the formation of untreated distilled water.
Look at that. I'm fascinated. And I've seen this video several times, right? I'm just always fascinated. The simple words, thank you. Look at the mathematical geometry that has created, right? Now, if you have not made the mental connection yet, your body is over 70% water. The majority of your body is water. These are water molecules we're looking at. So when you're in a healthier, high vibrational state, thinking positively, this is how positive thinking and living can help heal, because that is the molecular structure. If I had to choose between the disgusting molecular structure and this beautiful one, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Water crystals by typing words onto paper and then taping this paper onto glass bottles overnight. This photo shows the effects of the words thank you. This next photo shows the effects of the words love and appreciation. This photo shows the effects of the words You make me sick, I will kill you. And here we can compare the effects of thank you with the you make me sick, I will kill you.
Stop right there, bro. Stop right there. This is why I told y'all to share the live. You understand? Whoever need to see this, y'all got to share the live. Where we at? We at 1 hour and 40 minutes. So when you share the video, I want you to share the video, putting down the time, 1 hour and 40 minutes. Let's talk about it from right here. This is where you need to pay attention to. All you people that want to rap music and you get out there and you saying, yo, I'm just rapping what's in my environment, bro. No, you're not. You don't understand esoteric knowledge that was forbidden for you to even learn, because people had to go to mystery schools to learn this. But the people, see, what happens is anybody started getting into the mystery schools. That's what really started to happen. People with bad intentions started to get into the mystery schools, and then they came out and then they started to capitalize off of the knowledge that other people did not know. So yes, you was taught that Jesus is God. Yo, no disrespect to you. But what I'm telling you is this. Anybody that spent 21 years in a mystery school that came out, he understands how to manipulate gravity, frequency. He knows how to manipulate it all. 21 years, beloved, of knowledge that you are not privy to. Yeah, you would think he's a god too. He's a master at healing. Yeah, you would think he was a god too. And then on top of that, they didn't never tell you his full story. You don't even know his full name, bro. You had no idea his name was Yahshua. Then you finally accept that. Okay, cool. His name is Yahshua, but he's still the Lord of Lords, Kings of Kings. Yo, you didn't even know that he was part of a whole other organization called the Essenes. See, what you don't know will hurt you. And this is hurting us. This is hurting our young people, because they get up there and they start talking this kill, 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 murder, murder, murder. And then they wonder why the energy and their life is in such turmoil that you have to keep rapping about that. You talk about you rapping about what's in your life. Yeah, because you keep inviting that in your life. So obviously you would keep rapping about that all day long, because you have not changed your thoughts, you have not changed your talk, you have not changed your visuals, you have not changed nothing. Because why? Because you don't understand this. You don't have this knowledge. So you can't tell me that the music does not affect our community. The music does not affect it. It's not the music. It's not the music. It is the music, bro. It's weaponized. These people out here playing with knowledge that you have no idea even exists, and you going to tell me it's not the music? Come on, bro. I know it's the music because I understand. I was, thank God, introduced to the knowledge. Let me bring this back about 15 seconds and let you chew on this right here.
And here we can compare the effects of thank you with the you make me sick, I will kill you. Very, very different geometric forms being incurred through the intention. Now this photo is of a very polluted and toxic water from the Fujiwara Dam. Here now is the same water from the Fujiwara Dam after a Buddhist monk had offered a prayer over it. Prayer, that sound coupled with intention, seems to have an extraordinary ability of restoring water to its natural, harmonious, geometric symmetry. And in this photo we can compare the toxic water and then the effects of praying over the water.
Amazing. Amazing. Check it out. TV says he can't find me on Instagram. It is at JAMEL_SALADIN. All right. So let's now get back into um word magic. This show should not be more than maybe 22 hours and 20 minutes. We almost done, right? But I definitely wanted to make this a impactful show and get my point across, right? Because I'm introducing things to you guys that I know I have to take delicately for the people that have no idea that this even existed. But then at the same time, keep the people that do understand and are aware of this information entertained. So I thank everyone for their patience. I thank everyone for their understanding. I thank you for your presence because you don't have to be right here right now, but you do make the show too. You know, your presence makes the show. And and the more I explain these things, the more other people you hear people say these things that break it. Don't just push them away because they're not part of your religion. You understand? You can't grow like that. You have to take into consideration new information. So I may say I have no religion. You don't say, oh well, if you don't got no religion, I don't want nothing to do with you because my God is an awesome God. Okay, I never said your God wasn't an awesome God or none of those things, but I think you're just too boxed in because I may have some other information for you will help you understand. Once you understand, then you hear this information, it'll start to make sense to you.
Some spiritual teachings have suggested that the world is made of space, expansiveness and infinity, air mobility, fire temperature, water, fluidity, and earth solidity. These 5 elements are not based on physical qualities but spiritual qualities. Besides these 5 qualities of spiritual energy, the world is also made of words, because we live in a world that relies heavily on words to communicate. When words are spoken out loud, they transform into sound, frequency, and vibration, which are some of the fundamental building blocks of matter.
Mm.
The physical world we live in is made of matter. Therefore, it is also made of sound, frequency, and vibration. In a sense, the material world was brought into existence using the power of spoken words. A spoken word has sound, frequency, and vibration, giving it the power to affect how energy manifests itself into physicality. Hence, the biblical saying, "In the beginning was the Word." Phonetically, the term world sounds similar to the term world, which is the past tense of the term whirl, meaning to turn around, spin, or rotate rapidly. Before you were born, you were whirled into existence due to the fact that your physical body is made of atoms.
Mm, mm, mm. Are you understanding right now how the etymology of words and the words that we use are not coincidental? The word world deriving from the word whirl. Hmm.
What do atoms do? They spin and rotate very rapidly. This may be why the movie The Matrix has a character named Neo. In Latin, the word neo means produce by spinning. Spin, weave. Point 2, the term world also sounds similar to the term word, and the term word sounds like the term weir. One of the origins of the term weir is the Old Norse word verfla, meaning to turn. In English, the term weir is defined as to go, fly, revolve, or otherwise move quickly with a humming or buzzing sound. The definitions of the words in bold font in the previous 2 paragraphs are all related to the word spin. Why the word spin? Because everything in the universe spins, and we live in a galaxy that spins. The world, known as Earth, also spins, and the people living on it use spoken words to create their reality. The language system is made of words because words have magic powers and are great for enlightening or deceiving you. One of the reasons that words can easily deceive you is because they can be misinterpreted and misunderstood. Furthermore, each letter of a word can be rearranged to hide the word's deeper meanings. In addition, a word can be given many different definitions to confuse you. To understand why words have the power to deceive you, you need to know one of the occult definitions of the word language. To find one of the occult definitions of the word language, you need to split it into 3 words and study the definitions of the newly created words, so you know what they mean on a deeper level. When you separate the word language into 3 different words, it transforms into language. Lan is the feminine Chinese and Vietnamese name for orchid. The Vietnamese Lan changes this to the masculine context, meaning unicorn, coming from Ki Lan. When Ki Lan is translated from Vietnamese to Latin, we get the word unicornus. The Ki Lan was a dragon-type creature that was said to only protect the noble ones. It was also known as the Kulin. Gu is the god of war in the Dahomey mythology. So now we have Lan, a monster that protects the noble ones, and Gu, the god of war. Age is the age or ages of the zodiac. Hence, Lan/Gu/ages are the monsters of war that protect the noble ones or golden gods. Audio throughout the ages. The language system is an effective tool to help us communicate to one another. However, because of our ignorance of the power of words, the dark forces, false gods, have used it against us to wage war on mankind. For many ages, they have used the language system to divide mankind and prevent us from communicating to people who speak different language. This made it easier for the minions of the dark forces to engineer wars between nations and therefore tricking us to fight one another, preventing us from making the real perpetrators liable and responsible for their crimes against mankind. The dark forces are obsessed with wars for the reason that wars cause a lot of death and destruction, and therefore generate a large quantity of fear, energy for the dark forces to feed on. At the deeper level, wars are sacrificial rituals for generating negative energy and preventing us from increasing our frequency beyond certain levels, making it harder for us to ascend to higher states of consciousness. In the English language, many words are carefully designed and put together in a way that gives them the power to cast spells. The dark magicians are well aware of this, which is why they like to use the English language to trick us to play their con game to enslave mankind. Is this hard for you to believe? Read further and I will show you the evidence. English is the language that the dark forces want to use to control the world. This is one of the hidden reasons that most countries are now requiring English as a second language. Even some of the governments of poor countries are urging their people to learn English. The good news is that if we can prevent the minions of the dark forces from establishing their one world government, making English as the language of mankind will make it easier for us to communicate to other cultures. In the occult world, certain words are used along with rituals and sacred geometries to direct and control energy to create certain desired effects. This process of using words, rituals, and sacred geometries to control and direct energy is known as magic or magic. Be aware that I am not talking about the magic tricks you see on television or magic shows. However, many magic tricks do utilize real magic. Most people will laugh at the idea of magic being real, but if only they knew what magic really is and how magic is used to control them, they would not be laughing. The world is dominated by magic, which is why governments, banks, courts, and religious institutions are some of the biggest practitioners of magic spells. Until you
Remember, when I asked the AI about banking being part of land law or high seas law, the AI just gave out, right? But you're going to see in this series why, right? So where we at? We at 1 hour 55 minutes. Yeah, I predict that we're gonna have to do at least 2 more parts to this. Let's keep going.
train your eyes to see how magic is used to control you, you will never know how the world really works. The controllers who pull the strings of politicians are well aware of how magic works.
I say that all the
Many of
time.
them practice the art of magic, which is why they are sometimes referred to as the dark magicians.
Now, it came out in the WikiLeaks that Hillary Clinton exposed that she's well aware of magic that she plays around with, right? Now, I'm gonna put it to you like this, because I don't want you to fear magic, but I want you to understand it. Because in every show that you see, you always see two sides, right? There's always a side of the, even going back to the Wizard of Oz. You had the good witch and you had the bad witch. You know what this come down to? It comes down to what they wrote in the Bible when it says the blessings will fall on the just as well as the unjust. What you do with the knowledge that you understand is what you do with it, and it will differentiate you right then and there, and you will be on that category. If just like I know what I know right now, and I'm up here, I'm teaching y'all, right? I'm using it for, I know my intentions, because good is subjective anyway, but I know my intentions are pure. Let's just say that, in my opinion. But then you got people that will understand the same knowledge, and they're going to use it to control you. They're going to use it to control somebody lesser. Please understand that. So don't fear the word magic. Especially you Christian people, do not fear these words. Understand what it is. Understand what your pastor don't want you to know. He don't want you to know, not because I'm not saying he's a swindler and all this other stuff. He really wants to protect you, right? And this type of magic has nothing to do with Christianity from his perspective. So why would you be learning this under his roof at his church? You're not. But the problem is you don't live 24/7 under his roof at his church. You at some point you will have to come outside. And when you walk outside those doors, you are subject now to everything that's going on in the controlling systems. And the controlling systems are playing by dark forces that at the very least I think you need to be aware of. Let's go. We almost we almost finished with this here.
The problem is that they like to use magic for power and evil purposes instead of using it to unite mankind and change the world for the better. The most powerful thing in the universe is energy. When you learn how to control and direct energy, you can become one of the most powerful people on earth. The unlimited power of energy is the reason that the dark magicians are so obsessed with the process of controlling energy. The key to controlling energy is magic, which is the art of using sacred sound, sacred geometry, and natural forces to direct and control energy to produce certain desired effects.
There you go, man. That's my show at 1 hour and 59 minutes. I decided I'm not gonna go any longer. I'm gonna do a part two. I'm gonna do a part two sometime next week. We got to have a part two because we're gonna go into what word magic is. We're gonna go into commerce law and how they really use these things against us, the knowledge of. But I like that last sentence. The key to controlling energy is magic, which is the art of using sacred sound, sacred geometry, and natural forces to direct and control energy to produce certain desired effects. So at the end of the day, your thinking needs to be on point. You need to be very conscious of how you think, which means you can't entertain in everything. It's not as fun right away, but it will once you realize that you're building and designing your reality. You are the architect. But it takes time to build, right? It's a process. So it's not as fun right away, like I said, because you have to actually design that thing. But once you design that thing, like I'm gonna keep it real with you. Um, I just appreciate my family so much, you know, and we be in here and we be bugging out. But this is something that I built up, that I designed because of my conscious decisions. I could have had kids all over the place. Now, what I'm saying right now, I don't want anyone to feel like, yo, why you judging me and this? I'm not judging you. What I'm telling you is I made a conscious decision not to have a bunch of kids all over the place. So, but I have made other mistakes, if that makes you feel any better. You understand? So once you realize cause and effect, all right, um, there are plenty of times that your decisions, man, it's gonna come down to your decisions, no matter what. And when you have more people, because God knows I'm not the only one up here talking like this, right? My big bro Billy Carson, I'm more than confident he doesn't know me, but he doesn't need to know me either. I don't need to be on his show. I like what he represents, and I push his work. His name is Billy Carson. I push his work. He's a little bit older than me. He's put in the time. He's put in the research, and I'm really liking the results, and I like his brand. So the more, because I always say it's not one person down here talking this. So if you're looking for it, you're going to find it, no matter what it is. If you're looking for a problem when you woke up, oh yeah, you'll find one. Brother Sanchez, yes. Yeah, Brother Sanchez. I was watching Brother Sanchez the other day. Brother Sanchez can't expose Billy Carson as a fraud, but I sit here. I'm watching though. I'm paying attention. I'll pay attention to it. But who was it that just tried that same tactic? And every which way they went, um, Billy just debunked them. He just debunked them. Word to mother, Billy Carson is the truth, bro. They tried to say all this other stuff, and he just, I was watching. At first, I was like, "Oh, they got him on the ropes. They got him on all type of fraud business, all type of stuff." Right? Billy already answered all these questions. He did not panic. Y'all guys know me. I do the research. So I'm watching. I'm like, "Oh, Billy Carson is a fraud." I'm like, I'm gonna give it time. I'm gonna see if he wants to, because a lie unattested can become the truth, right? So I said, okay, I'm gonna watch what he say. I reached out to somebody. I was like, yo, they talk about you a snitch. Dude told me, yo, I don't got time for that. I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. But if I was you, I would at least go and say it once. You ain't gotta say it a bunch of times. Just explain your case, boom, bad bit. And that's what Billy Carson did. They call him a fraud, this, that, and the third. He came up, he had all the receipts too. And that's the thing about it. That's when I was like, okay, Billy, I'm still rocking with you. Still rocking with Billy. Because he came up, he addressed it, he had all the receipts going back to when he was arrested for all of that stuff. He was able to clarify every last thing. So that's a brand I think right now I could trust. That's a fact. So this is why I had to take the long road home over there. I tested it. I just wanted to see if I knew what I knew, right? Like, if can I get videos with numbers? And once I realized, oh, I could get the videos with numbers, right? But like I said, some of that stuff will hurt my heart. It hurt my soul when I start. So I said, nah, you got to be more conscious, Jamel. You know what I'm saying? You got to do better because you know better. So therefore, that's not the route you take. And the route you take may be way slower. You understand? But we don't know. So put your trust in the Most High, and you put one step in for the other, and you already know what you're trying to attract, right? Now you putting the action out there, and it got to manifest, bro. It got to manifest. So look at me right now. I'm here with you guys. The 10 people that are here right now is supposed to be here with me. Because guess what? The scriptures say where there are 2 or 3 together gathered in my name. 2 or more gathered in my name. There will my spirit be. Well, I got 8. Got 7 other people. And that's more than enough. Listen, y'all, I'm not going to hold you up for your Saturday. Go ahead and enjoy your day. I'm about to get something to eat. I've been up here kicking it for 2 hours. This was an amazing show. Please do share the show with anybody that you can on any platform. And again, shout out to Valerie Rogers in the house. Shout out to Splash in 1976. That's a fact, Splash, and you already know that. Shout out to B Dolo. Shout out to Check It Out TV. You understand? Sonia Smith was in the house. Shout her out. Tony Smith. Tony Smith said, "Yo, I thought you was leaving YouTube." Tony Smith. Every time I think I'm out, he dragged me back in. But really, it's my purpose. You understand? I was getting frustrated with the weaponization of how they're not making, but they're encouraging people to put out a certain frequency for small rewards, right? So they go back and forth every time I turn on something. Is this one going at this one? Black men going at black men, not building with each other, tearing each other down. And I just got so sick of seeing it, bro. I said, I don't want to be a part of this. So when I walked away, and I forgot what came across my feed, but I think I had uninstalled the app YouTube altogether. I took it off my phone. But then there was other knowledge out there that was tricking the people. Then I said, dang, yo, I gotta go back to YouTube. I mean, I'm not back because there's a check involved. They don't pay you enough to go right now. They're not paying me enough for anything. But it was more or less the sole purpose I came back was there needs to be more people that is enlightening. So as much as I hate when the fact that YouTube is willing to commit genocide on humanity, right? Because you won't let people talk politically on certain topics, but yet you will let them get up here and say all type of derogatory things explicit things that are harming, right? Because they understand word magic. They understand these things. So they let you use all the dark word magic in the world to harm yourself, to cause destruction to yourself, to your community, and poison your community. And it's one of the saddest things, and it's disheartening. It's disheartening. Yeah, the dysfunction is bananas, bro. So let's see. I don't know when we're gonna be back again. I got a new show. So based off what I did last night, which was Shenanigans Fridays, right? And YouTube did block the video. So what I decided was I'm turning it down a little bit, and I'm not gonna do Shenanigans Fridays. I'm gonna do a show called What's Going On Over Here. What's going on over here? And it is very similar to Shenanigan Fridays, but it's more tailored, right? Anyway, I don't like too much raunchiness. I don't like no raunchiness on the show. And that, that was one of the things I kind of seen with playing random videos ahead of time, right? Because I don't know what's going to be playing. Then I turn on some videos, some old man is kissing some young girl in the park. I don't even know if she was of age. I don't know what's going on. And these are the type of things that I need to like. I'm like, okay, that it was an idea, but it's not going to work because I don't even want to subjugate my watchers and my viewers to some of these frequencies right here. I'm not down with none of this. And therefore, like I said, YouTube, they deaded a lot of that anyway. Valerie says they will not succeed. Look what happened to Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson. I don't know. I like Tucker Carlson. I'm not sure how I feel about Don Lemon. I think Don Lemon was used a lot of times. Um, Tucker Carlson could be, a lot of times he was arrogant, but that didn't mean I didn't like him standing on his square. You understand? I like the fact that he stood on his square and he said what he said. And many a times we agreed on a lot of things. So everyone looks out the lens to sees the world through a different lens. You understand? He may have been brought up from privilege in a certain neighborhood that I more or less cannot relate to wholeheartedly, or there's an affinity there for him, right? And obviously, I'm from an area in a different part of the world and brought up in neighborhoods that he would probably not be comfortable in at all. But at the same time, there are things that I found that even me and him could agree on. Yeah, I think Don definitely was a tool of the elites, man. Yeah. All right. So that being said, you guys rock out. Amazing show. I'll try to cut it up. Can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine? He is so preppy. Yeah, Tucker Carlson, that's what it is about him. Like he is so preppy, bro, that it gets on my nerves sometimes, right? He has that preppy arrogance. But a lot of times he'd get on that microphone and me and him be thinking the same about stuff. I'm like, oh snap, look at this preppy dude up here thinking the same way I'm thinking right now. So that'll go to show you. Because he was calling them out. But there was a lot of things we disagreed on too. I give everyone a chance. But that's my whole life. I listen to a lot of different music. If you was ever to look through my phone and listen to what I listen to, this is how I know so much gospel music. But then you put on rap, I'm gonna know that too. But that's not all I listen to. Is rap and gospel. I listen to pop. I listen to classical music. I listen to Chopin. I listen to Beethoven. I listen to rock. I listen to punk rock. One of my favorite bands is The Killers. I love John Mayer. I listen to John Mayer a lot. I listen to a lot of R&B. I know I listen to Coldplay. I know their first album by heart. Um, I definitely know the whole Killers album. SZA, I know all her albums. Her, I know all her albums. Gypsy Kings. Like I could just keep jumping around. Oh, a lot of jazz, contemporary, right? Depending on what how I wake up and what day it is, I can listen to traditional. I can listen to jazz like Thelonious Monk and Miles Davis, and sometimes I do. I just put their albums on, right? Billie Holiday. I just put their albums on. But then I may put on Foreplay, um, Boney James. I listen to a lot of Boney James, right? Um, I listen to a lot of David Benoit. I listen to a lot of jazz. Yeah, so I could go all around. Only thing I really didn't get into was this here drill music. It just didn't serve any purpose in my that ain't going. I don't know if I'm gonna ever get into drill. I just feel drill is like damn, like I feel drill as a dark substance. Like, and I don't know if it is because I'm getting old and I don't care. I could be getting old. It's like, oh, you just old now, bro. You don't. But I don't know. When you put on some old, like when the old rappers be releasing new songs, it'd be dope. Enes from Brooklyn is on fire. Not Enes from Brooklyn. Enes from Philly is on fire right now. Why do I think Enes is dope? Is it because I'm old and Enes is old? No. Enes is just spitting real ill raps. Snipe Life just released something. Snipe Life is talking street on that new joint, but it's like it comes out as poetry. It doesn't come. I don't feel like he's trying to make me go spin the block and he's celebrating somebody's death and I don't know. When you start talking that, I'm a warlock, beloved. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've accepted the fact that I'm a warlock. So, you know, that spells and all of that hit me different. So I can't sit around and listen to your drill music, especially when you don't understand what you're playing with. And then you try to we having these long conversations about why y'all dying. Why is the drill rappers dying? Why do you think they're dying, bro? What is this conversation even about? Why the drill rappers being arrested? Is there a target on the drill rappers? Yeah, the universe got it out. They put their own target on their back. Energy is cyclical. Dummy, as above, so below. I mean, do yourself a favor and become an initiate in somebody's mystery school, bro. Some fraternity somewhere. I don't know what you need to do, but please. I got a little shit channel over here trying to expose you to it. You said it ain't. It's boring. So okay. What you want me to do, bro? Thank you, Valerie. You gotta love Valerie, boy. You gotta love Valerie. That's a fact, Splashing. It's their own words killing them. It's your own words. It's no government agenda out on you, beloved. It's no government agenda. It's your own agenda. The energy is cyclical. Why is it cyclical? Because the molecules they vibrate in a certain way, as above, so below, bro. You understand these things. That's it, though. Really, really, really. I gotta go do some things. I got a new account, and I gotta go prepare for that new account. Self destruction is real. It's real. All right, man. Shout it out. Check y'all later. I doubt I'll be back on today, but y'all might see me on tomorrow. You understand? I really want to do a Sunday deliverance, but they gave me the strike before, and they gave me the strike. I don't know. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Everybody go over to Conversation Peace TV, and I might do a Sunday deliverance on Conversation Peace TV. Because if they're gonna strike any channel, let them strike that channel, right? But I think I was on too long before. I think if we did like an hour and a half, and what I really think is YouTube was upset that I had beat a dispute, right? Because I made a dispute, and I said, why did you take down the video when everything I'm saying is could be looked up on the internet? I'm not spewing out nothing that can be proven. And they had to adhere to my argument, and I won that argument, and they didn't like that. So then they was on my heels, like I could feel their presence watching everything I do. So when I did the Sunday deliverance, that's the first time ever I've been struck for a Sunday deliverance. I never before had been penalized for playing gospel music. Almost 2 years I'm up here playing gospel music, and all of a sudden y'all sit me down for a whole week because I played gospel music. Nah, it was bigger than that. It was bigger than that. But that's why I have two channels. You understand? Word. They said take this time out, beloved. That's a fact, Splashing. You absolutely right. They got the drill gospel. They do, bro. I want to play all of that. Todd Tribbett been had drill gospel, bro. But it's the beats that was, drill, but obviously the words and the intentions are way more higher frequency, right? But even that beat, even that drill beat make you feel I don't know. Nah. All right. So I'm gonna pray on it. You understand? I'm gonna pray on it. Don't forget to pray. You see how that water looked after the monks prayed over the water, right? So that should tell you, that should be some example to you that prayer is real and how you think is real. I don't care nothing about being cool. I don't care nothing about being street. Um, Whatever their whole definition of real is bogus anyway. So I don't. They can miss me with all of that, keeping it real business, because all of it is some type of dysfunctional definition of real. But shout out to the real men and women that take care of their families together as married couples. You understand? Shout out to the real men and women that really teach the youth how and train the youth how to grow old and older. So when they get old, they will not depart from those ways. Right? Shout out to the real men and women that stand up for something. Shout out to the moms and dads that go to their schools and their children's school and find out what is going on in those schools. They on top of things, man. Yeah, that part. So listen, I do it at the end of the day. I do it for y'all. Whoever show up here for this here channel, that's what we doing. I do it for y'all, man. And I love the fact that everyone here is. We have different religions, we have different everything, but yet we still get along, right? You know what? You know why? On this last word, you know why? You know the bond that's keeping us together because we all got different ideologies, but the one thing all of us got in common is love. And with that being said, elevation is a must. Anything else is absurdity. I'm your boy Jamel Saladin, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.